Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So this video is meant to remind you guys and teach you guys about two things. One, what I actually did to make my trading psychology extremely good, and why you actually need the daily time frame, because it makes things extremely easy for you as a trader, right? So first things first, let's talk about the broader topic, which is the daily time frame. Now let's take a look at this trade right here. This trade wouldn't have been possible if not because of the daily time frame, and at the same time I wouldn't still be in this trade if not because of what I actually do to make my trading psychology extremely easy, right? So it goes according to each other's movements. So let's look at this first. Now, last week we actually broke through this trend line right here. That was a very nice and clean breakthrough, right? So all we needed to do was just continue selling, because there shouldn't be a reason for you to be looking forward for buys after price just broke through this zone right there. So all we needed to do was sell, and we sold all the way down. Now, there's one thing you have to understand about trend breakouts. If a trend line has been broken through, one, if it's an important trend line, price usually comes back and retests it. Don't mistake this for just anything, right? It's very, very important for price to come back and retest. Why? Because if price comes back to retest that trend line, it assures traders that it wants to continue in that direction. That is why when price comes all the way back down or all the way back up for a retest on a trend line, a lot of traders are waiting for confirmations after the retest to execute a trade. Take an example from this level right here. This was a bullish flag. Price broke through that bullish flag. What happened in the coming days was price actually pushed all the way back down to do what? To retest. Now, after this retest, you don't really care about what is happening. The only thing you need to worry about is if price do not give you a rejection or a confirmation. And when you look closely, you could have seen it, rejections right here followed by a confirmation. Now on this particular day, a lot of traders would have been looking forward to buy, because they know for sure that price is pushing through and is taking out this last high right here. That is how easy it is. So when price actually broke through this trend line right here, it did not come back to retest it. So you obviously know price will come back to retest it. At the same time, when you come into the chart, please try your best and take your time. Look forward for levels that are extremely important. You see that this whole chart is not really that messy. Why? Because there are not really a lot of important levels on this chart. One, the most important level on this chart is this range right here, which is a lot of buyers at around this zone. You can see buyers coming into the markets here around this level here, and at the same time this level again. So this indicates that there were a lot of buyers at that moment. If price comes all the way back into this zone, what we are looking forward for, one, is a rejection, two, a confirmation before an execution, right? Now, I did not even think this trade was going to push all the way up to these highs right here, to be honest. I did not think about this at all. I actually thought, yes, it will push all the way up, but maybe next week that will actually do that, not this week, right? But what happened? You can see that on Wednesday, price actually pushed all the way down to this zone right here. This amount of push should have actually enabled sellers to just continue shooting all the way down. So if it was followed by a lot of buyers, this is a lot of buyers, but you wouldn't understand why I'm saying this is a lot of buyers, because this shows a what? A bearish engulfing candle. Very, very strong sell movement. And the next candle did not even show. The wick down there is extremely small. You can't even see the sellers coming into the market. Buyers conquered the overall day. Sellers rather did what? Had a rejection, a reaction. This is not even a rejection, it's just a reaction before buyers actually stopped them, right? So indicating that there's a lot of buying movement around this zone. But since this level has already been tested once, tested twice, three times, what I'm waiting for is a confirmation to execute a trade. So when this is happening, what do? I go down to a smaller time frame to see what is happening. So when you look closely, you obviously realize that I actually have something right here called a change of character, right? So on a bigger time frame, I don't want to make this messy, but you could have actually seen it. When you look closely, you can see it right there. That right there was a change of character. After a change of character, what happens? We need a BOS, and that BOS is price taking out this last high right here. So that is why it is very, very important when you actually know what is happening on a bigger time frame, because after this change of character, all I'm waiting for is a very nice movement to execute my trade. That is how easy it is, right? So yesterday, yes, we actually got this all the way down with the 714 method. And sorry I haven't been able to make any videos on the 714 method or any other strategy. I've been severely under the weather. I've been down with some serious cold. Yesterday and today I've been better, but yes, that is the main reason why I haven't been able to update you guys on any other strategy or any other trade that I've taken so far, right? So yes, the 714 method was quite good, but today, what was I looking forward for? I've told you guys, you don't have to have a sniper entry to execute a trade, but you have to know where the trend is going. So when all this was happening, I wasn't really seeing any reaction around this zone or any reason to actually buy until price gave this fair value gap. When price gave this fair value gap, came back for a retest, we continue shooting all the way up. At first, I actually wanted price to take out this high right here before I even consider executing buys. But price did not do that, it immediately reverses all the way back down, using these two zones right here as liquidity, sweeping those sellers or those buyers who actually kept their stop losses here and coming all the way back down to this fair value gap. What do you think I'm going to do? Of course, I'm not going to execute my trade like that. Absolutely not. I've told you guys, you don't need a sniper entry, but you need the direction of the trend. So when price came all the way back down, which is this zone right here, you can see that we had a series of consolidation. That right there is a confirmation that this fair value gap is strong. After the breakout, what do I wait for? A series of buy movement, 1, 2, and 3, telling me that yes, buyers are strong and they're extremely strong inside the market, right? I can now go in. So with this, I can execute a very huge what trade, and I'm hoping for that trade to push all the way up. Which now brings us to the second most powerful thing, which is what do you do to actually make your trading psychology extremely easy, right? Because sometimes you think when you become a professional trader or when you are in this market for a very long time, you are not longer going to be having those type of edges, but it's absolutely wrong. You are still going to be having them. It's up to you to actually make it better for yourself, right? So what I do is, I've told you guys countless times, always execute two trades. Why? This whole trend that you are looking at currently, I wasn't really looking for price getting to these highs right here. This is just what I got, and that is not even what I was expecting, right? This was what I was expecting right here. That was it. That was the trade. It was a 1:2 trade, and that was it. That was where my first TP was, because I know there was a lot of liquidity above this zone. We can see a double top right here, another double top right there. So I know there was a lot of liquidities above there. So after the first TP got hit, I was even waiting for price to actually just maybe push all the way up to this zone. This place I was actually expecting, but I don't even think price would go there. I just wanted price to hit at least this or maybe just around this zone, started reversing, and I'll get out of my second trade. But what happened? You can obviously see that price push all the way up. And all this, I was still in the trade and my mind was at rest because I had already gotten a profit. That is the most important thing. As a trader, you have to understand that to master your trading psychology, you have to be in profit. When you are in profit, you don't really have the edge to get out of the trade. And in order for you to not have that edge to get out of trades, is for you to do what? Execute two trades. When you get out of one, the next trade, you can just allow it running for as much as it can. You don't really care until you see a what? A rejection and you get out of the trade. So yes, that is just it. Always remember, take two trades to use the daily time frame. You don't really have to mark a lot of things on the daily time frame. All you need to do is find a support, a supply zone and a demand zone, followed by maybe a support and resistance. That is just also on this chart. What do you see happening? We have a supply zone above this range right here. This is a huge supply zone, demand zone right here. We have another resistance zone right here. So these are just the only things that you need. You don't really need any big thing to actually understand where price is going to. Now, what happened today too is also a different case, because by next week we might probably wake up to price hitting this as a support zone and continuing to push all the way up. That is another thing that price can do. But so far so good. I'm not leaving this trade till next week. No, I'll be getting out of the trade just very soon, right? I'll be getting out of this trade because I can't leave it till next week. No, this is a huge profit. I can't do that. But that's just it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.